Hello, in this video I will be going over an AP Precalculus question like I promised, I believe back in August of 2024. The first year of the AP Precalculus course was back in I believe the 2023 to 2024 school year. The first examination was in 2024 based off one of the questions we're going to do today. And then right now is, I guess, the second school year it's being offered around the nation or even the world, the 2024 to now the 2025 school year. So yeah, going off this first question from the free response from the 2024 examination, we're going to be, I'll be talking through these, not giving exact answers because I do want, you all to kind of think about these things. But yeah, I do have a video going over some precalculus topics. It's more trigonometry, so I don't know if that fits this type of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of resources, but I want to go over this free response question now. Okay, so we're looking at question 1. We have A, I. So the question is basically explaining, we have this graph, right? And it says the figure shows the graph of the function f on its domain of negative 3.5 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3.5. The points negative 3, 1, 0, 1, and 3, 1 are on the graph of f. The function g is given by g of x equals 2.916 times 0.7 to the power of x. A is asked, he has two parts. I, the first part, asks the function h is defined by hx equals g f x equals g of f of x. Find the value of h3 as a decimal approximation or indicate that is not defined. This, I believe, is pretty simple. Once you get once you know that basically your h of x is, you're just going to plug a value into you have like your g of x, you can have 8, you're going to use the g of x, you're going to have h3 equals that whole equation of the g of x, because remember your h of x equals g of f of x, so you have like h3 equals the 2.916 multiplied by the 0.7 to the power of f of x. You plug what's f of your x value is 3 here, so what's 3? You find that value, that's your power, you multiply it, and you get an answer. Yeah, and it should be, so pretty straightforward. 2 asks to find all the values of x for which f of x equals 1 or indicate that there are no such values. I mean, very simple, in my opinion. You just go f of x, so you find where is the y value 1 on that graph of f. You write those 3 values. I guess I can go over the answer here. You see the y value is here. 1, your x value will be negative 3, 0, and 3. So that's your answer for part 2 for A. B, part 1, asks you to find all values of x as decimal approximations for which g of x equals 2 or indicate that there are no such values. Pretty straightforward. Well, actually, it might be a little complex. You're going to have to solve the equation. You're going to have a log. The way I did it at a log base of 7/10. You're going to create it into a logarithm. Do some early division. Create into a logarithm. And then you get your value. One thing they want to do is, you can read here, or you see here, it says decimal approximations. I don't know if the idea of significant figures has gone out, or if you're taking this class, you know about that. It's a lot. It's gone over a lot in science, but that's something you should think about here. What's your significant figures? What's the longest point of solving here, like the most amount of figures? Oh, we found 4 here. So your decimal approximation will be to 4 values. Rounding, yeah, I think you just round down for the answer. And yeah, if you don't put a decimal approximation, then you do get 1 point marked off. So that is something to keep aware about. Part 2 for B, determine the end behavior of G as X increases out bound. Express your answer using the mathematical notation of a limit. I don't really like this. I think this is a little excessive for a pre-calculus course. Usually this is like the second part of an introduction to calculus course, but they're having limits gone through here. Yeah, so basically x increasing to infinity in your limit. What's g of x? Like what's that value that you'd look for as your x increases to infinity with your limit? Yeah, so that's basically how you're going to solve that. Okay, C is a little interesting. I asked to determine if it has an inverse function. Quickly, we'll go through this. No, it doesn't have an inverse function. Now, the second part is more of, this is like the reasoning part of the mathematics rather than just the solving part in the first part A and B. 2 asks to give a reason for your answer based on the definition of function, the graph of y equals f of x. So basically for this part, you're going to have to give some answers as to what you believe. It should be why it's not f does not have an inverse function. You could give, like, some people would give it like it wouldn't be 1-to-1. You can't just give that reason. You'd have to give some supporting evidence with the graph. What my view of this is, like, x and y values of f do not equal each other. So if f were to become an inverse, it wouldn't work. You have like f of 2. You see 2 here, it would have like 3.25 or something around here. Flip it around. U2, oh no, that's 0.5, that's 2.75 or something around that. It's something like those numbers. Not really inverse, so yeah, there could be a few ways to explain this, but you have to give them some mathematical reasoning. I hope this helped to review if you're taking AP Precalculus, and hopefully this was a good review of one of the free response questions. Thank you for watching.